The topic of my fieldwork paper is on abortion. Before we begin this interview, can you just explain to me your general ideas about abortion?
Yeah, I think it's a very hot topic. Maybe a little less hot this year than it has been in the past, but it's still very controversial nonetheless because of its religious undertones. And I think that fundamentally, to me, it comes down to where you think life starts. And I think life starts whenever at the moment of inception, which is somewhat of a scientific basis, I think, and that, along with the fact that, in my religion, my personal opinion, you shouldn't take a human life. I believe that abortion in general is wrong. So, yeah, do you have any more specific questions?
An ongoing argument about abortion is that young fetuses are not yet considered human. What do you think?
So my opinion on that is, again, kind of based in science. So like I said, the moment of inception where the two, where the sperm and the egg meet, that's the moment where the DNA is shared and a unique being is formed as far as DNA and genetic code is concerned. So at that point, the human has a full genetic code. It's unique to them, and they're a new person. So I think from that point on is really that's a new human being. And so these small fetuses, they're growing. They don't look like us, but they share a genetic code with all humans. They have their own unique genetic code. So I think they're a human at that point, and they deserve human rights, such as protection from being killed.
Okay, well, what do you think are some characteristics that classify someone as human?
Again, I'm gonna kind of err more on the side of science here. So, there's a pretty. I feel like there's a pretty standard definition as for what counts as human when you talk about genetics. Of course, you have abnormalities in that. That would be a counter argument. Or people born with an extra chromosome or born lacking a chromosome human. I'm talking more than just that because that's an irregularity mutation that just knocks off one major feature, but the rest of the genetic code is still hugely identifiable as human. So, I'm going to defer to science here. I'm not an expert in that field, but there's a pretty clear distinction of when someone is human and when someone isn't.
Do you think your religion or your parents' influence helped sway your thoughts about abortion?
Yeah, I think so. I think yes. The answer to that question is yes. But I think for anyone, that answer has to be yes.
Why?
And yeah, why? Because I think anyone is a product of their upbringing, and their parents and their surroundings are going to influence them one way or the other. And it's something that we can't really avoid in our human nature. It's really hard to not be a product of those people that have been telling you things day in and day out as you grow up for 10, 15, 20 years. And so I think in my case, yes, well, my parents were both pro-life, and my mom is very religious. I think that's influenced my views, and I've come to see and respect life in that way. But as you get older, you're also able to expand your views a little bit more. And so now I think my belief is based a little more in genetics than it was when I was growing up. Nevertheless, I do see certain arguments for abortion, such as when the woman's life is in danger as well, and you have to choose between the baby's life and the woman's life. That's a very hard decision, and I honestly don't even know what I would do in that situation. So that's difficult. Or such as when the woman was taken advantage of and against her will and impregnated. I think that's an incredibly difficult decision. Again, I don't think that a life should be taken there, but I see the other sides, and I think that there is perhaps some merit to that view. Did I answer your question? Is that?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks.
Do you have any more questions?
Nope.
Not even one more?
No, but thank you.
Okay.